Okay, everybody. I'm going to give my personal opinion if I think that the Cowboys are going to win the NFC East, yes, no, or maybe, of what the situation is going on with the Cowboys. First things first, last week I wasn't on to give a crow when we lost to the Eagles and to the Bucks. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks with my foot getting messed up. So I already know right then and there. Second thing, 2 weeks ago when I said I hope Bradford got injured by the Cowboys, well, he did get injured against the Miami Dolphins. I'm not taking the blame for that, okay? Injuries happen. I'm not a psychic, and I don't have a crystal ball predicting what's going to occur. So I am not going to be the one to blame for that happening. Even though I said that 2 weeks ago and I took that back. So I'm not going to be the sacrificial lamb in all this. Next thing. Looking at this whole thing with the NFC East right now, because this division is so fucked up. It's almost like anybody can win it right now. And I'm going to say right now, do I think the Cowboys can win the NFC East and pull off these 7 wins? I'm going to sit here and say maybe. I'm not going to say yes or no. I'm going to say maybe on this instance. Because it's a lot asking out of Tony Romo to do. Because one thing, he is not Superman. And it is hard to pull off 7 wins in this league with the schedule that we have. Because even though my friend and I, we were discussing this at work, saying that the Cowboys could get a battle of first place against Washington, I said, the only way that's going to occur is there's a lot to this puzzle that has to occur with this. Part 1 is, the major thing is, the Cowboys have to get a fucking win. And the Cowboys have not won since September. They have to get a fucking win against the Dolphins. That's the first part in this whole thing. Part 2. You gotta pray that the Eagles lose to the Bucks. Pending who it is, if it's Bradford or Sanchez, regardless, the Eagles would still beat Tampa regardless of one of those two. Nothing against the Bucks, even though, yeah, Jameis Winston is a rookie quarterback, and that's an inexperienced O-line. It's a very young team. Regardless of that, you'd have to pray on that one. 3 is the Skins losing to Carolina. I can see that occurring. Now, the way the Skins are playing right now, I don't think they're going to get killed. Because I would have said right now, looking at this on paper, I said, the Skins are going to get killed by Carolina. But the way the Skins are playing right now, I can see it very close in this one for the Skins. And the Giants are on their bye right now. Part 2 is Thanksgiving. Hope the Eagles lose to Detroit. We have to pull one off against possibly an undefeated Carolina team, because I don't know what's going to occur that Sunday between the Skins and the Panthers. Possibly on that one. And then the third one is hoping that the Skins beat the Giants and hoping that the Cowboys are at 4-7 and that the Redskins are at 5-6 to have a possible battle of first place against the Skins on Monday Night Football. A possible battle. Now, looking at the schedule right now, Cowboys might be able to squeak out maybe, I don't know how many yet, because I have to see how this goes. I can't predict and say, yeah, they're going to get all 7 of these wins. I'm not going to sit here and be delusional here. I'm going to sit here and be a fucking realist and sell it true. I don't know what's going to occur here out of these 7 games. Now, I will budge if the Cowboys can beat Washington and are at 4-7 and get to 4-7 and they get 5-6 and are in first at that time, I will budge a little bit and start opening that window a little bit, saying, yeah, there's a chance they can get it. That window I'll open up fully is they beat Green Bay, they beat the Jets, I'm opening the window fully. But I don't know just yet what's going to occur. Because looking at the schedules right now, here's how it's going to go. I can see it probably being down to a final between maybe Washington and us. That's if we lose, then it's going to come down to probably Washington and New York. More likely, I could see New York right now. So here's the thing. Looking at the schedules. Looking at Philadelphia's schedule, I'll put Philadelphia out of the mix first because I see a collapse occurring like what happened last year. After when they beat us on Thanksgiving, they went down and collapsed and only won their last game at the final game against the Giants last year. I do see another collapse for them because looking at their schedule, after Thanksgiving, after Detroit, in Foxborough against the undefeated New England Patriots. So I want to say this right now. Honestly, you can sit here, because I've gotten into a debate about this with Eagles fans at work and saying that they're going to beat the Patriots. And I want to say honestly with you right now, do you really think you can beat the New England Patriots in their own home, possibly still being undefeated and pulling that victory off with either Sanchez or Bradford? That you guys are going to pull that one off, which is not that easy to do against New England. The only one who has almost came close to beating them were the Giants. Had that pick now to hit the ground, Giants would have gave the Patriots their first L. So I would right now sit there and honestly say me right there that y'all think y'all can beat the Patriots. Now the Bills, I'll say maybe you might beat them. I'll say maybe on that one right there. Arizona Cardinals, I see a loss right there. Good luck trying to stop CJ, Chris Johnson, Ellington, and Palmer going to Fitzgerald, Brown, and Floyd, and that defense putting a whole lot of pressure. Good luck on that one. Washington, I don't know in that regard because you don't know which Washington team you're going to get. And I'll get into that one next. And then the New York Giants, well, we don't know on that one. So Washington, I'm going to say second in this one right now. Washington actually has found a quarterback with Kirk Cousins. They finally found a QB. They do have a good running game with Morris and Jones. They do have good receivers with Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson. And also with Crowder. I don't know what his first name is, but Crowder, he's not that bad with the receivers that they have. And with that defense, too, with Rashawn Breeland and their front four up in the line. But my little problem with Washington is called consistency. Is when they get a win, they go back and lose. It's just their hard problem is trying to stay consistent. Now, I'm not going to take it for us. We can't even stay consistent right now. But with them, they have a problem with staying consistent. The teams that they have bought have been with losing records. They have not beat a team with a winning record as of yet. That's just the problem with Washington is called with them. It's just consistency. That's their problem. Third is New York Giants and all this. Because one thing was, if the Giants had beaten the Patriots, I would have conceded and said, you know what, season's over. It looked like the Giants are going to win this division. But had the pick not have dropped and that field goal got made, wouldn't have opened that window to give us a glimmer of a little bit of hope for us. Now, the Giants' schedule, with them, I possibly can see maybe 3 or 4 losses. Because what my friend wants with the Washington game, I don't know on that one. That's the whole thing. But I only see maybe 3 or 4. The 3 that I think they're going to lose to is maybe the Jets. The 2 definite ones I think they're going to lose are Carolina and to the Minnesota Vikings are the 2 that I think they're going to lose to. Now, right now, what we're asking out of Romo is a lot. Is to try to squeak out 7 right now. Because after the Dolphins, they have a short week. They only have 2 days left. And that is against Thanksgiving against the Panthers. And then they get that long bye week after Thanksgiving when they have to play the Redskins on a Monday nighter. But you're asking a lot out of this team right here. Yes, Romo does come back this Sunday against the Dolphins. Yes, you get Sean Lee back. But the problem is right now, we need consistency right now. Is fourth quarter, get some sacks, get some turnover. Don't cause stupid penalties. Try to generate wins here is what we need here. Can we beat the Dolphins? I hope we can. Because it's a little bit tough because with that defense they have and with Dan Campbell coaching them right now, he's making them believe in them, that team believe. But this is going to be a little tough one. Can we get this running game together? Can be consistent with either McFadden or possibly Turbo, who we just signed today. Because after releasing Christine Michael and Brandon Whedon. Oh, by the way, Houston, good luck with Whedon. So, we're going to see what we can do here. It's very tough to see if we can get all these 7 wins here. Now, Cowboys pull off these 7 wins and get in the playoffs. I'll be a shock, and I'll admit and said Cowboys have proved me wrong for the 2nd time this year. 2nd time in 2 years that they have proved me wrong. But as of right now, I don't know what's going to happen when they take on Flipper Echo. Oh, for the young people out there, if you didn't have Sega Genesis back in the 90s, it was an old game back then. So, we will see. And I'm hoping after this offseason occurs, there's a couple things that I want done. 1, draft a backup for the future, just in case if we have another situation like this to get him to learn behind Romo, so we don't have to go through this fucking shit again. Number 2, I want this to happen with Greg Hardy. I hope he does get cut because he is a distraction. But I don't see that occurring because Jerry Jones will possibly re-sign his ass to a long-term deal. Even though Jerry's saying he's on the fence about it. But for some odd reason, I can see Jerry re-signing him, which I don't want that man re-signed because he is a distraction and a headache, in my opinion. Okay? And I'm hoping to God that one day Stephen Jones decides to take the power from his father. But the only way I see Jerry Jones stepping down, and I hate to say this, is until that man dies. Is the only other way I see Stephen Jones getting the power. Because it's going to be a while until Jerry decides to retire. Second of all, in this whole mess that we're in, Jason Garrett deserves to be put on blame. Scott Linehan deserves to be put on blame. Both of them, and also Rod Marinelli too. They all need to be put on blame. But if out of the three who I want gone, I would say to Jason Garrett being gone and Linehan being gone. But I don't see that occurring because both of them are puppets to Jerry Jones. And I still haven't forgotten. You know, some people want to say, oh yeah, Jason Garrett got us to the playoffs. But also, someone also forget those 3 consecutive 8-8 seasons were because of him. Let's not also forget that. All in all, I hope come this Sunday is the Cowboys beat the Dolphins. And let this be the first part of possibly of a resurrection, that if the Cowboys can rise from this like a phoenix out of the ashes here. But we will see come this Sunday. That is all. And even though I've been hearing enough people who say about the stat with the Cowboys, which really I don't pay no mind to this stat, and I think it is very asinine when somebody told me that the Cowboys have not lost on the night of the Survivor Series since Romo has been the starter, has been there. I really don't make a difference in that, in the whole stats and all that history and that crap. It really doesn't make a damn difference in that, in my opinion. So, that is all my opinion in all this whole fucked up situation with the NFC East. That's all. See you next week.